everyone, it's author Sandra Wilson and I'm here in the Kindness Kangaroo library and this is another story time session. And today we have an awesome book called Little Hawk Finds Courage by Kat LeFay. And this is a really cute story that not only teaches you about the behavior of birds, but that also teaches you about having trust and finding the courage to do things that may seem like a leap of faith. So we're going to read that story today. And as always in our storytime sessions, we have a craft, and it's a really cool craft that we're going to have afterwards. And the craft is a great idea to do at the end or later on in the day. You may not have all the items you need, and so you can kind of gather them all up and then watch the video on the replay and extend the story by doing the craft, talk about the story some more, talk about the emotions of the story, get the conversation started about courage and trust and faith and things like that. So that's a great thing to do to extend a story, is to add a craft. And as always, we will be posting on the Kindness Kangaroo Project YouTube channel so that you can watch the story anytime you want. Alright, so if you're ready, I'm going to start Little Hawk Finds Courage. Little Hawk's morning began nestled next to her warm, soft mummy and surrounded by her brothers and sisters. Unlike her siblings, Little Hawk had one curly brown feather on the top of her head, and you can look inside and see which one is Little Hawk because of that description. As the morning sun rose over the land, the young birds stirred in the nest. Time for breakfast! Mother Hawk spread her mighty wings and swooped from the branch to gather food. The small birds played happily, waiting for their mother's return. Warmed by the morning sun, Little Hawk and her siblings squawked loudly, each trying to be the first for breakfast. "One at a time," Mother Hawk cooed. "There's plenty for all of you." As breakfast ended, Mother Hawk announced, "Today is a special day! Today you're going to learn to fly." The little birds chirped in excitement. "The things we will see," one voice carried. "What fun we shall have," said another. Little Hawk wondered how they would get to the ground to practice flying. Just as Little Hawk turned to question her mother, Mother Hawk began pushing Little Hawk's brother right out of the nest. The young hawk could not believe her eyes. They were so high in the air. "Mother, what are you doing?" Little Hawk's mother pushed another of her babies from the safe nest. Little Hawk shook and trembled in fear. Little Hawk sat and watched all of her siblings get pushed from the nest until finally there was no one left but her. Mother Hawk gently nudged Little Hawk. "My little child, trust me. I am teaching you to fly. There is no need to be afraid. I love you." She pleaded, begging her mother not to push her from the nest. Little Hawk knew she would hit the ground so hard she would never be able to fly. "Trust me, I love you," was all the mother would say. Little Hawk backed away and gripped the bottom of the nest as tightly as she could. "Come here, you must learn to fly. It's time for you to become a big bird," her mother soothed. Mother Hawk prodded Little Hawk toward the edge. The more Little Hawk pleaded with her mother, the more her mother pushed and nudged. As the little bird neared the ledge, she searched for her brothers and sisters. "Surely they're down there and badly hurt," she thought. Mother Hawk whispered, "I know you are scared, little one, but all is well, for today you are going to fly." With those words, Mother Hawk gave a great shove, and out Little Hawk tumbled. "Squawk! Squawk!" yelled the small bird. "Help me! I'm falling! Help!" Then suddenly, out of nowhere, Little Hawk's wings stretched further than they ever had before, and the air carried her higher and higher. "I can fly! I can fly!" Suddenly she saw her brothers and sisters. "Hey, they are all flying like me!" Little Hawk remembered her mother's words and knew that her mother's love had taught her to fly. With a silent whisper, she gave thanks for the gift of flight, allowing her wings to carry her higher and higher up into the sky. And then there's some questions, some fun facts here about hawks as well, and other types of hawks that you can learn about. So it's a great way to, one, have a fun story. Isn't that a great story where you're wondering what's going to happen to Little Hawk and you find out it's got a happy ending after all. So you can have a story, you can learn about hawks, you can have a conversation about trust and love and faith. So many things can go with this book that it's just an awesome book to have in your library. And I'll leave a link underneath so that you can get it for your library as well. Alright, so for our craft, you're going to need just a couple of items. So first of all, you're going to need a couple of straws. One that's bigger than the other one. Now, I don't particularly like throwaway straws. I like to use reusable straws because that's better for our planet. But sometimes, if you happen to get takeout, they give you straws even when you say, "Don't give me straws." So if you have a couple of those saved up, this is a perfect time to use those for a craft. And so you need to have a bigger straw and a little straw because one goes inside the other. So you need to have that. And then you need some paper so that you can cut out the body of a bird and 2 wings of a bird. So you see there's a couple of wings and the body of a bird. Now, an adult may want to help cut out the bird, but then a child can color all they'd like, maybe a face. This one kind of looks like a little hawk with the type of beak. The type of beak can determine what type of bird it is, so that's another lesson you can throw in. So color up your hawk. Take your biggest straw and you're going to cut it down just a little bit. You don't need the whole thing. And then at the top you're going to cut slits so that it folds open like this. You see it kind of makes a Y. Once you've finished coloring your bird, you can just put a little bit of a fold on the ends of the wings and glue them on so that you have wings on either side of your bird. Sorry, it's hard to show you when my hand's holding everything up. Let's try it this way. Here we go. So we have wings on either side of our bird. And then you take the small straw and you put a little slit so that you can slit in the bottom of your bird. So you just kind of slit it in, and then you take your bigger straw and you put it in your little straw, and then these folded Y parts you attached to the wings. So let me show you the finished product so that you can see. So you see I have my smaller straw with my bigger straw inside, and the smaller straw is attached to the bottom of the bird, and then the Y parts are attached to the bottom of the wings because it's folded. So then what happens is you take your big straw and you push it, and your bird flies. You see that? And then when he falls out of the nest or gets pushed out of the nest, he can actually learn to fly. So there's our bird flying away. So I think that's really a great fun craft. A little bit harder to understand, to get, but watch the video again. You can see underneath we've got these little parts attached to the wing, and the straw attached to the body, so that when you push, it pushes up on the wings. That's really how it works. So. Alright, so again, that story, Little Hawk Finds Courage by Kat at LeFay. I hope you enjoyed that story and our craft today, and I hope to see you again in the next Storytime session.